Trauma, debating under the motion, this house as an aspiring novice debater prefer tiger coaching over elephant coaching. Because this is open round with open observer, I encourage observer if you want to shout or talking, please keep your voice down and do not interrupt any speech from the debater. And if you want to go out to the classroom, please wait during the transition of the debater. Go back to the chair, okay? And without any further ado, I call upon Prime Minister to open the debate. You're here.
Salah, ping.
Let me start. Please let me start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Our house wants to come into this room, into this debate room, trying to say that we want to justify tiger coaching for new and aspiring debaters. First of all, let's start with the context here. We are facing an aspiring novice, meaning these are debaters who have little to no experience in debating. However, they have the aspiration, they aspire to win and to be a great debater. So they have this aspiration, right? It is an internal incentive that could be either to win competitions, to gain this prestige, to later on use this prestige to get into college when you want to get into law or international relations, for example. It might be an internal incentive that you have your heart in debating. Maybe it's from seeing cool debaters online, or even from seeing having interest in debating community in your school. However, these novices also have low exposure to pressure in debate, and I would like to go on with that in my arguments later. So, first of all, tiger coaching is hard and full of pressure. However, they requested this this type of training from their coach. Because they aspire to be great, they aspire to win competitions. This principle itself, that they request this type of training, the tiger coaching, dismisses all the issues we have with tiger coaching, because this is what they want. This is what they have their goals in mind, and they need what they need to reach these goals. Okay, so first of all, my first argument would be, aspiring doesn't mean they can be diligent. This is a disconnection faced by new debaters. They have the spirit for it. They have the spirit and the aspiration and the dream to become a great debater, to win many comps. However, they don't know how to apply this. And what will happen if they don't have the right type of coaching, like how the opposition side of the house want to propose of elephant coaching? This can be very harmful for the debaters, their goal and their well-being. First of all, for their goals are to win competition. No, thank you. Their goal is to win competition, to get to have prestigious, to have a good portfolio for college. However, they're not going to reach this, meaning they have the goal, they want to use this prestige as portfolio. However, they won't reach this. Why? Because they don't have the right type of training. Where the right type of training, as our house want to propose, is tiger coaching. And second of all, it ruins the debaters. It ruins the interest of these debaters, because they expect to to have a certain type of coaching that will satisfy and fulfill what they expect from debating. However, with a laid back type of training done by elephant coaching, it ruins their expectation in debate. And again, the well-being of the debater. They expect tiger coaching from their internal incentive, from the big aspiration you have as a newbie. And when they don't see this, they don't have their expectation in debating fulfilled. We are going to lose all of this aspiration, this potential of a great debater. However, they're not being provided with the right form of training. And what's your POI just now?
Yeah. Why do you think that new debaters would always expect these coaches to be a tiger coach?
Okay, first of all, as I have elaborated, they have internal incentive. They want to to achieve these goals. They want to have their needs fulfilled in debating. They want to know debating. However, having a laid back type of training won't fulfill this, and that is my answer for your POI. And second of all, it preps them for the right mentality. As we know, debating is a pressureful thing. You stand here in front of a lot of people trying to propose what you have and what you think is true. However, a new debater doesn't have the exposure, no exposure at all to this type of thing tiger coaching is the right type of training to prep the right mentality to be able to withstand these type of pressures. Our house would even go as far as saying that this is exposure to pressure is a qualification to thrive in the debating, because debating is, as we know, is a lot of pressure. And also training novices intensely puts them in a higher upper hand when facing against other novices, such as in this competition. They're going to have the upper hand, meaning they will win comp, meaning their goal in debating will be achieved. And also, what do we want? An aspiring student, they want to win comps, they want to have the achievement. And by having an upper hand facing against other novices, with tiger coaching, this will be a very, very fast solution for new and aspired debaters to have their needs, because this is an urgent matter. They can win debating comps as fast as possible just through tiger coaching. And next, the justification of why our house want to push tiger coaching. First of all, the opposition side of the house may want to say that they will quit this type of coaching. However, we would like to say that no, this is not true, and they will stay in this type of coaching because they know what their goal is. They just need the right place to be able to achieve and to thrive and to expand on this and to achieve their goal. And that is why tiger coaching is the right type of coaching for new and aspiring debaters, for all of the reasons I've explained, through their incentive to win, through their incentive to be a great debater. And that is why Gedagedigedago is proud to propose. Thank you.
Can you read the motion? With my
This house as an aspiring novice debater prefers tiger coaching as opposed to elephant coaching.
someone improve, we believe you should make them stay first. This is the statement that the proposition never understand, right? Panels, realizing how the counterfactual looks in our world as opposition. Firstly, here we're going to the elephant coaching, right? Which make in our side, if you're wrong, then it's okay. We can fix it together. If you're not suitable with this debating style, then we will find a way of the debate. Now let's see the toxic world of government itself with tiger coaching, right? Let's see. When you are doing something wrong, they will talk smack on you, right? They will say you're dumb, useless, and yada yada, right? You will realize all the pressure that you got from all of this tiger coaching itself. You will never be enough in the eye of your coach. And please realize when in their world, when tiger coaching exists, then they need to follow like a certain structure, right? They were structurized by their coach. Like all of the time for them to like learn, the time for them to improve was structurized by their coach itself. Like you need to follow a certain structure. Like for example, if your battles need to be just like 2 minutes, and then your arguments 5 minutes, and if you don't follow and you fail of this, then your coach will blame on you and keep talking smack on you, right? Realize before everything, panels, the proposition have some burden of proof to prove to us, right? At the very first place, they need to prove to us why under toxic environment people still can stay and still continue to debating that have failed to be proven by the Prime Minister itself, making the Prime Minister doesn't have enough contribution in this debate, right? Before everything, let me give a few response towards the PM itself. The PM came to this debate and bringing the ideas about how they will not know how to manage their aspiration and potential. Realize they never explained to us how tiger coaching is the only way and how tiger coaching is the most efficient way, right, panels? They just came and standing right in here and told you about like bragging how tiger coaching is the only way, but never gave us like any comparison or an exactly benefit. So because they failed our side as opposition will prove that later in my speech and also in my DLO speech, right? Secondly, the PM came to this debate again and bringing the ideas about how tiger coaching is good to prepare their mentality, because debating at the very first place, like they need a high mental itself. At the very first place, panels, they don't have the proven how they will be mentally ready in this toxic environment itself, in this toxic coaching style itself. Let's see all the debaters that has been crying. Like for example, Kanaura Kareka, they were all crying because of like for example, and coach, a tiger coach, blaming on them because they can't do well in NUDC or yada yada, right? This is the mentality that the proposition never understand and never proven to us that all of this novice debater especially will survive themselves, right? And panels, please realize if you still want to buy these arguments, realizing how at the very first place, all of this novice debater has already known what the risk of debating itself and how their mental should be ready for it, right? We believe with the elephant coaching, it will be better to prepare the right mentality for them because the understanding environment itself proven later by my arguments. Okay. Now heading on to my arguments, but first arguments was sustainable debating career. Panels, realizing the issues that all of this aspiring novice was the new students and in adjustment with high school, college, and yada yada, right? They were also just trying to debate. Please realize with this kind of situation, then they will most likely to be burnt out, right? They were stressed with all of the assignment, they were stressed with all of the pressure that they got themselves. Why is this true? 2 reasons. First, they were chased by deadlines and also assignment, and secondly, if they were going into tiger coach, then the coach is going to push you to have a coaching session at 9 p.m. after like your practicum in college, for examples, right? We believe why is this problematic? Again, 2 reasons. First, when you were just in adjustment, then you want to find your interest, right? And realize how the interest taking the 70% of your time. We believe this will be burdening for you at the very first place. Secondly, if you do worse and you don't know what to prioritize, right? You don't know which to prioritize between your between going to your practicum or doing doing the debating, then the tiger coach in here will came to you, and when you do worse, they will still talk smack on you. This is what the issues that was happening in government and will never ever be realized by all of the speakers, right? Okay, panels, let's see Why in our side we will get the more sustainable debating career, especially for this novice debater itself? Few reasons. Firstly, that you will find debating as a part of your life, not just as a competition, right? We believe the characterization of the relevant coach in the context like is that they will make you comfortable because they were adjusting to you. They will like always comforting you after you lose or even after you win the competition, right? For example, like your coach will find a flexible schedule and no side will be cornered panels. Please realize in our side this benefit happen, right? And secondly, as an aspiring novice debater, the first year is like click between you want to continue debating or no. We think when we were doing the relevant coach itself, when we teach them, not force them, they will find their real interest in debating, right? They will understand about how debating is the house that they built for them. They will realize like how being the best speaker of NUDC is the one that makes you comfortable, right, panels? Okay, now that's why we believe that in our side there will be sustainable debating career itself for the long term because we've already making them comfortable at the very first place and making them know the essence or what they should do in debate. Second argument was why at the end of the day the improvement will be better in our side. Okay, the issues was Tiger Coach is the one who forced you to debate in certain way. Why is this actually problematic? Realizing how every debater have their own way. Tiger Coach will force you to stick in like a same routinely. For example, your rebuttals need to be 2 minutes, arguments 5 minutes, and yada yada. Imagine you're in a competition and you failed, right? Your coach will blame on you. They will say like it was because you don't follow like the coaching session that we did yesterday. You don't follow my structure and all the burden that the Tiger Coach gave it to you, right? We believe at the end of the day they will just be pressured and also they will be less motivated to actually improve because their mental has been broken at the very first place. And also, panels, why at the end of the day, the improvement will be better in our side? Few reasons. Firstly, that in here, they will be abundance with their improvement, right? They will not feel left out. They know, because they will get the recognition that they actually deserve that the elephant coach got, that the tiger coaching never ever like gave to them, right? Why is this recognition is important? For example, you win HSDC and then my coach came to me and saying that, oh, you did a great job. This is because you already found your way. Comparing in their side, the tiger coach will come to you and say, oh yeah, you win HSDC, then good job, make it as a lesson. That is the difference, right? Why we think the recognition is important? Realize as a novice debater, the one that we need, the one that was important for us, the one that is important for us is actually is like the recognition that we need. For all of these reasons, we believe we probably oppose this motion.
Thank you for your defense of my speech. To respond to this additional opposition, calling for
Pakai nih. Jangan di WA nanti di depan sana.
Tapi kau dalam enak kan?
Enak maksud kok ambil ini, saya lihat itu. Oh, apa sih?
Pintar banget dia.
Makasih memang saya pintar.
Masih sempat pas. I'll start my speech when I start my speech. Okay, as government side of the house, we think that we already know that yes, as with tiger coaching, you might be pressured, and we say that this is already justifiable. As said by my first speaker, we already know that as an aspiring debater, you want to win this, right? And because of that, as a coach, we're going to tiger coach you. Why? Because we want you to win those. We want to be in line with your goals. Meaning that if you're an aspiring debater, the way you're going to get your goals faster and to be more forward in the community is to then go with the tiger debating, right? Because what is opposition prioritize? They prioritize the feelings, but they don't actually think about what they want in the end, right? If you want to talk about improvement, it's only going to exist. It's mostly going to exist on our side of the house. First, then let's go into the rebuttals, okay? First of all, they said that First of all, they say that we're not going to stay debating. They're not going to stay in the coaching, right? They're not going to stay debating. However, we say that this is least likely to happen because when they start the coaching, right, they already have this. They want to learn debating, right? Meaning that no matter how hard the coach is on them, they're still going to want to learn. But even then, in the future, if they have like less want to go to this coaching, we're saying that they're going to be used to it at that point, right? They're going to be used to this mentality, to the pressure, and because of that, they're going to most likely just stay in debate. And we're going to explain on why that's going to be better later, okay? But second of all, they said that, because it's all going to be criticized by coach, it's going to be toxic. It's going to be toxic. However, first of all, we say, even if it's toxic, that means there's more incentive. That means there's going to be more incentive to get better, right? Because if you're constantly criticized, if you know what your mistakes are, you're going to have more incentive because you see those mistakes and you want to improve more, right? But then third of all, they said that they will not be building mentally. However, we say that this is not exclusive because not exclusive because if you keep losing in a competition, even if you join the first like 5 competitions and you keep losing, it's going to affect you mentally, okay? And you cannot be ready, and you can't be ready for that. And there's nothing that you can do to prepare you for it except if you've already been hit mentally first, right? Meaning that if we already break them down and build them up again to have this strong mentality, they're not going to be mentally brought down in the debate, right? Meaning that this is non-exclusive, but at least it's going to be better on our side of the house because we're already preparing them for the debate world, right? But second of all, they assume that they're going to know the risks of debate. However, we say this is not true because how would they know the impacts of debate? They just want to go into debate because of these reasons, right? But from where would they know that they want to be negative because of that, okay? But second of all, if they did know the risks of debate, then they would also be ready for the risk of Tiger coaching. If you want to win, then you would know the risk of coaching, okay? Because this is non-exclusive and it's better on our side of the house. Okay, then they say they talk about burnout. But then let's talk about burnout, right? Even if burnout did happen, it's least likely because they're used to pressure, right? As I said before, when you're first pressured, of course it's going to break you down, but you still want to go. But the longer it goes on, the more you're used to this pressure, and because of that, they're not going to get burnt out, right? They're not going to get burnt out, especially if you get the results of winning because your constant improvement, then it's least likely to get burnt out because you're already satisfied with your results. Even if your coach is not, at least the inner self of you is proud that you already have won this, right? But even then, it's more likely that they're going to burn out and opt out. Why? Because if they keep losing these competitions, but then they go to their coach and the coach says, "Oh, it's okay, you did your best. Why are they going to improve then, right?" Everyone is going to be like two steps above them, right? Meaning that no matter how much I do this coaching, I'm just not good enough to debate because that's gonna get them burned out because if they're not good enough, and because of that they're going to get opt out. Meaning that acts actually better on their side of the house. Okay. Now let's talk that they also said it's going to be more sustainable. However, we said that that's going to be wrong only for my third speaker. Okay, then going into my arguments. First, it's going to create a tougher mindset, right? Now, first of all, let's talk about Tiger coaching. They're tough on you, right? We know this. And at first, you might be overwhelmed, but the more you break down stuff, the more it comes back better, right? Meaning that your mindset as a whole is going to be tougher, right? And with more time, you're going to be criticized and pressured. You're going to get used to it. What does it mean? In a debate, the first impact in a debate, you're not going to be affected because mentally in a debate, if you have a strong opponent, you're gonna be like, okay, it's fine, I'm used to this, and because of that, you're gonna have better chance to win, and you're going to less reason to opt out in later in the debate, right? And you're going to take, and even if you lose, you're going to be able to take that mentally because you're already used to being criticized, you're already used to being thrown down, meaning that even if you lose, first of all, not only are you going to be used to it, but you already have more incentive. But you're going to have more incentive to learn because, as already explained in my rebuttals, the more if the coach constantly criticizes you, then you want to learn more, right? You have more incentive to win. Because of that, there's more incentive to win. And the second argument, they say that we're going to improve more, right? We say that. This means because you're constantly criticized, right? That means their mistakes, even if they're small or big, it's still going to be crucial. It's going to be framed as, the mistake you did here is crucial, it's big, right? And because of that, we say that even if that's a bad thing, we want that. Why? Because it's going to make us improve. Meaning because if you see your flaws as more, right, that means you have more things to improve. That means that you're going to improve every little or bad thing, right? Meaning that every flaw that you have is going to get fixed easier because your coach is constantly pushing this on you, right? your coach is constantly going to fix these little things about you, okay? And they're going to be hyper analytic, and because of this, that means all your flaws are going to be fixed, right? Making you a better debater. What does that mean? You're going to win more competitions, and you're going to get, and you're more likely to get best speakers, right? And even if you say losing is enough of an incentive to get better, we say that that's not true. Because we don't know how strong the mentality of the person is, right? We only know that they want to win competitions. No, thank you. We don't want to win competition. They want to go in competitions, but they don't have the mentality to lose, right? Because of that, if they keep losing competitions at first, right? That means that and they keep getting coached more, but the coach is too easy on them. Because of this, the quality of coaching isn't that intense, right? Because of this, you're not going to improve that much, and because it's time sensitive, you keep joining competition but you don't keep winning, meaning that's going to lead to burnout, and that's not an incentive to get better then, right? Okay, then I'm going to extend on some arguments given by my first speaker. First of all, he talks about like tough love, right? Because the more early on, then why would they want to stay in coaching? Because they understand why they hire this coach in the first place. Because they know that they want them to improve, right? Meaning that first of all, that's less likely to leave. But however, it also gives an early start. Because the more novice because if when you're a novice and you already have an early start, you're already very experienced, then when you go on to become pros, to become people who are experienced, you're going to be still better than the rest because you had an early start before and you just keep improving from Tiger coaching. Meaning that from now and in the long term, you're going to be a better debater overall, right? And we want to say that we understand the harms coming from government. We say from opposition. We simply say that it's justifiable because at least what we want is in line with what the debater wants. For all those reasons, we are very, very proud to Gedagedi. Thank you.
Oppa!
Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. To teach OSN material to someone who loves multiplication is the life that you subject yourself into under the world of proposition. I'm going to prove that in my speech. 3 things I'd like to mention. 1, I think government's characterization is unfair towards this debate because it is only applicable to their case. The implication here is that it is uncompetitive, right? I think a more fair, comparative then is these aspiring novice debaters are debaters who have skills, right? I think this looks like Kaika in NUDC 2023, right? Meaning to have an incentive to improve. But secondly then, we don't concede to their analysis when they tell us, oh, this is what these debaters want. Because this is this is a false sense of information, right? Because there's an asymmetry of information because the only thing that you're being told when you want to join debate, for example, right, is that, oh, we're going to teach you how to publicly speak and how to critically think, right? Exactly then this is, to begin with, principally horrid, right? But thirdly then, government cannot run from their own burden. I'd like to remind you that 1, they still need to prove to you that 1, why people suddenly are able to endure the toxic Tiger coaching in itself. But secondly then, how then Tiger coaching is actually able to maximize the improvement then under their side of the house, because the only form of analysis or push that they give to you was that, oh, they push you to be better. But exactly how does that look like? But I don't think that this is possible because they already lose, because they cannot prove that in win. But the moment that Kezia told you that who are you to assume someone is able to get motivation from losing, is exactly when they backstab their own case, proving to you why then people don't have any visibility in actually enduring toxic coaching. In the first place, we already flipped your case. 2 clashes then in this debate. Firstly, under the idea of improvement. The claim that we got here from proposition is that, oh, you're not going to be that diligent with elephant coaching because you're not going to be pushed as hard as tiger coaching. Therefore, it ruins the expectation coming from these debaters, right? Firstly, this is so ambiguous, right? Because what are their expectations in the first place, right? Because if you're not going to prove it to us, then you're just going to assume that you want to get better at debating, right? Exactly why we need coaches who understand that you're going to make mistakes in the process of you wanting to improve. Exactly why we don't need coaches, for example, to push you to always win. We need coaches who want to understand that you are still improving at the end of the day, and then when you are able to improve, then you are able to win. But secondly then, this is not true because even if they are that ambitious, right? Even if they want trophies and etc., this inherently does not make sense because you know, like in status quo, people know that when they are going into competitions, they are going to meet people like David Africa, right? Exactly when you meet these kind of people, it means that you are deterred to begin with, right? Therefore, the expectations then is to improve in debating, right? Exactly. Then how do we fulfill this metric? Is because we explain it. These elephant coaches are going to explain it to you in a manner of way that is like so understanding that you are able to understand it. How are you able to actually deliver arguments, for example, right? Or how are you able to deliver your rebuttals effectively? On the comparative, under opposition, realize like that you're still going to have incentive anyway to want to improve, right? Because one, you like as simple as you see other people doing better in debate competitions can actually like fill up your spirit, for example, in order for you to want to beat them, right? Because you're at the same skill level anyway, you still want to improve. But second then, when you find great debaters, for example, in status quo, when you are practicing, you will have a role model, right? You will want to aspire to be as good as them. But you are not scared to look like from different like perspective or like styles underside opposition because you're not limited to a certain way to debating, right? Meaning that like you actually meet like the expectations coming from your coach. There is no like unrealistic expectations that are going to be pushed to you underside opposition. So on the second class then, about sustainability, which I'll be integrating my extension in this. Okay, so why then, under government side of the house, there's no more motivation to debate? This is true for 5 reasons, right? Because understand that in order for you to keep debating, you need motivation. But why can that exist? Because one, under government side of the house, you're always pushed to be better than everyone. But secondly then, the moment that even if you are enough, most likely, if there's even someone who shows a tiny bit of potential more than you are even forced to work even harder than them. But this is bad because there's never any feeling of satisfaction of your own skill. You're always pushed to be better than this, better than that. But understand how it feels to be a novice, right? When you are told that you have potential, right? But then on like the next day, you are told that, oh, you have no skill. Why are you even debating in the first place? Exactly then, when to begin with, you are already killing the motivation of people who want to debate. But thirdly then, debate in turn becomes a burden to you, right? It is a reminder that you are never enough to your tiger coach, that you are never enough to beat this person, that someone is always out to beat you. No, but fourthly, realize that this takes away the fun in debates, right? Because debate is not only about competition, right? It's not just about like winning, right? Exactly that. But it's even worse than under side proposition if you lose, right? Because the moment that you lose, you are going to be criticized anyway, right? But exactly then, the harm still applies to them because Kezia already backs up her own case. But fine then, you no longer have the motivation to debate, you are going to quit, right? But then, I think this leads to one impact, is that you're going to lose the potential of these novice debaters. Because understand that these novice debaters have potential. But the thing is, we have to nurture that potential or skill. But not every problem has the same solution. But under government side of the house, this is what is being shoved down on your throat. You are forced to debate in a certain way. But why is potential so important to be kept and nurtured? Because one, without these debaters, who else is going to debate anyway? But secondly then, the debate community is going to be stagnant, right? Because it's only going to use these same strategies that are being pushed by these tiger coaches in the first place. There is no room for improvement, right? Exactly where there is going to be like less like skill, like higher skill in a certain circuit. I think lastly then on the weighing, right? Firstly then, even in government's best case, we are still able to motivate these people. Why is it likely that the benefit is still marginal anyway, right? Understand then that let's just take the bullet then. Some people are able to take these tiger coaching and their toxic methods, right? It's probably likely then that the number or like the amount of people who are actually applicable to that is so little anyway, right? Meaning then, when you don't have enough debaters, you're not actually going to be able to like go down into competitions because you don't have teammates anyway. You are forced to search for like composite teams, for example, right? Exactly then why under your side of the house, even if you're that great of a debater, for example, you're not going to apply to competitions because you can't join because you don't have teammates anyway. But understand that secondly, the prerequisite of sustainability is to cater towards these actors who are at a fragile state where they are still adjusting, right? Exactly why Jesus' like explanation explanation is so important here because these are people who are at the verge of joining and not joining debate. In order for us to make sure that they still keep debating, we are able to nurture them. We should advise them and we should teach them in a way that doesn't force everything down their throat, right? I think on that basis, I'm so proud to negate.
Allow me to take my phone. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, before I start my speech, I would like to clarify that my goal and preference is always when someone saying to I have this state my point. If you don't do that, it's okay, but I'll just be a little bit sad. So I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. First of all, I will start with my rebuttals. In our side, in the first paper, we've already clarified why it's justifiable that these that we as the aspiring novice debaters need this pressure to survive in the debate world. However, in the first speaker of the opposition team, they said that before make someone improve, make sure they stay. But we've already, this is my first rebuttal, we've already stated that in the very beginning that we are aspiring debaters and have the incentive that to actually want to improve. So the incentive to stay already comes from the status quo, which is, for example, the incentive to gain credit, to gain the prestige of winning a debate, and to get more, for example, help you with scholarship, to help you with college applications. You see yourself these cool debaters in your school and you want to become them. So this is why we say that we already have the incentive to continue on with this debate. They said that second rebuttal, the first speaker of opposition said that these tiger coaches will obviously talk smack to you. They will say, "Oh, you're dumb, useless, etc., etc." But notice how the first speaker is dramatic, is framing these tiger coaches as through dramatic villainization of these tiger coaches, which proves how they are dismissive of the actual benefits that our first speaker has mentioned, the benefits of the tiger coaches. And thirdly, they said that we did not elaborate on the benefits. However, it's actually not true. We've actually already stated why through the first speaker, which is to push the aspiring debaters. We made a comparison. We've said that it will help these novice debaters to improve and give them the capability to withstand the pressures of debate competitions through intensive training, and that can and will be provided by tiger coaching. For rebuttal, the second speaker said that we never said how tiger coaches will push you to improve. However, that is not true. We actually have stated how they will push their kiddies to improve, which is through the intensive training. How they will try to make you want to improve when they intensive training, and how they will try to make you improve even when you're feeling lazy. Because as clarified by my first speaker, as just because you have the aspiration and incentive to improve doesn't mean you are diligent enough. Moving on, I will go on to my fifth rebuttal. The fifth rebuttal, the opposition said that tiger coaching will make them scared and want to get away from the debate. But however, as clarified by my second speaker, we said that this is completely not true, because according to the motion, we are aspiring novice debaters, meaning we have the incentive and reason to go forward with the rigorous training schedule, because we want to improve and become great debaters, because they want to get that credit and achievement to use for their college applications or maybe even scholarships, which is why opposition's case about them not wanting to debate anymore is irrelevant in this specific case or debate, because as we stated, due to And we stated that due to the tiger coaching, coaches pushing them to improve in the status quo, we have a strong incentive to stay and to withstand the pressure. Fourthly, as stated, not fourthly, fifthly, as stated by my second speaker, we already tackled down the fact that even if you risk the harms of them getting burnt out, actually again we are novice debaters, which means that we want to improve and become one of the best. Yes, we agree that burnout does happen in the real world, but in our case we say that getting burnt out is highly unlikely. We in the status quo are aspiring to become better. That is what we want. That is what we need, yes.
But exactly why, when you have the incentive to get better, that is why you need to be nurtured by elephant coaches.
Okay, as stated by my first and second speaker, we already stated that yes, nurture can help you, but the problem is that is not our priority right now. The priority is that we need someone to push us, so that even if when we're lazy, even if we suddenly want to sleep for a while, we have someone to at least push us to say, hey, you need to improve on this. Why are you not improving? We need someone to help us with that. Moving on, this means that and what does this mean? What does this mean for us? This means that we will endure the pressure of debating, and this can actually be beneficial for them because they will be able to build a tougher mentality by building the ability to handle this pressure. Being able to handle this pressure, not only that you already have this extensive training. This means that through title watching, you have the upper hand because in actual debate competitions where love is not in the air but pressure is in the air, you as the aspiring novice debater can handle this much better. Moving on as to why opposition's arguments no longer stand. First, as stated before, the people they said that people will not and want to go to debate anymore, which is one of their main arguments, but it has already been tackled down by my second speaker. Second, they said that doesn't say how other coaches, for example, elephant coaches, will be able to push the novice debaters to improve. What is the process in that? How will they exactly improve? And how will these other coaches push their kiddies to keep on improving? If their kiddies are suddenly lazy midway, or they are only spirited when it's like a week before a debate competition, as opposed to our side who through these type of coaches will push them to improve. And third reason why opposition's arguments no longer stand in the case is because in the first speaker opposition, the opposition says that they look for validation in their training from their coach. But actually, validation exists more in our side because in our world through family, because you get that validation through family, friends, and school because of that prestige you get when you win that competition. You can parade that to your friends, and you will get that through tiger coaching. Although it is not exactly exclusive to our side, but there are more chances you will get that credit through tiger coaching because we can prove how tiger coaching will help you win competitions, while they can prove how elephant coaching can make you have a higher chance of winning competitions. And fourthly, when they said that elephant coaching can help too, it's not as intensive. As we are not denying that elephant coaches don't provide a medium for you to improve, but they are not what we need right now. In the status quo, we try to improve, but that doesn't mean that we won't be lazy from time to time. As mentioned by my first speaker, aspiration does not mean diligence. As you need a sense of security, someone that will keep on pushing you even if you're lazy, which is tiger coaches, as opposed to elephant coaches who won't keep on pressuring you when you are feeling lazy. Moving on, why our side's arguments still stand. It is because we've already explained in the status quo why it is urgent, why it is justifiable. Second, we've already stated that is what we want, that is what we need to improve. Therefore, Gedagedigedago, 8 and left no crumbs, we are close to propose.
You're here.
We believe that relationship in debate is the same with having relationship with your partner, right? You want a long-lasting relationship and you want to gain that husband title or that wife title, right? You wouldn't want to stay with your partner when they are toxic, right? You would want to break up then. And when you push yourself to your limit to what your partner wants, of course you're going to break up. But instead of doing that, you would have to just adjust to each other to actually have a long relationship with your partner, right? Okay, moving on to like clashes to this debate, right? Two clashes under this debate. First of all, the clash of improvement. We believe this is the only thing that governments and the house always glorify in their case, right? So let's see what they have brought to this case, right? They said that elephant coaching isn't the right type of coaching because there's going to be no improvement in elephant coaching and there's going to be no push in elephant coaching. But first of all, we believe that there's no improvement on how tiger coaching is the only way to actually push these debaters to push these debaters, right? We believe like even if they explain this, we believe it is not going to be true because the push that the tiger coach is going to give is just a push for you to jump off the cliff, right? They are forcing baby shoes to an adult build, meaning like this pushes them to actually quit. We believe that we have proved to you that there is going to be improvement in our side and the push that is and the improvement and push because first of all they are fighting against their teammates and wanting to be better than their teammates, right? Not only fighting with their teammates, but they are also fighting with people from outside, right? Of course, because they are an aspiring debater, they would want to win trophies, right? And also like thirdly, they also have support from their coaches that would want to like push them, that want to push them to win this like debate competitions, right? And also like they will still, this is the thing in governments at the house, they believe that elephant coaches is just there to say like, yeah, it's okay. No, elephant coaches are there. They are there to also give you criticisms, but in their own way. They would not like smack talk you. No, thank you. Later on, please. They would not like smack talk you, but instead elephant coaching is still, they're still going to criticize you. They are still going to tell you your mistakes, but they are not going to take you down in the process, right? Compare it when you do tiger coaching. They are going to take you down because they want you to be better, but instead you are not going to get better. You are just going to feel that you are not actually capable to actually win these debate competitions. Before moving on, yes, POI.
How effective do you think is elephant coaching in trying to push their coaches to win competitions?
Okay, I believe that I've already explained because these coaches has already been so good to you. They really care about you. They actually try to understand you. That's the reason why they would want to win in competitions because they don't want these coaches to actually be disappointed in them. Other than that, they are an aspiring debater. They would want to win trophies. They have the incentive from themselves. So we believe elephant coaching is the way for them to get the push, right? Also, let's see what opposition side of the house has already brought to this debate. We have already told you that there is going to be improvement because these coaches actually try to understand you and is going to adjust you instead of pushing you into their style of debate, right? We believe when you push these baby shoes on adult field, it is not going to fit, right? Compare it when in opposition side of the house, we are going to try to adjust and find the right type of shoe that is going to fit you, right? We believe also that we have already explained that there is going to be no improvement in government side of the house. In Gerald's case, there is going to be no motivation or no improvement in government side of the house because firstly you are going to be pressured and the pressure too much. The pressure that you're going to get from tiger coaching is too much because these coaches are going to keep smack talking you, right? But secondly, in government side of the house, there's no satisfaction on your skill and you will not feel appreciated, right? So we believe like these debaters wouldn't have the incentive to go on because they don't feel appreciated. They feel that their skill is just a waste of time and their time on coaching is just going to be a waste of time, right? So they will think this debate is just going to be a burden for them, right? We believe this is going to take the fun away from debate. So we believe that there's going to be no motivation in the very beginning in government side of the house. So therefore, they wouldn't try to improve, right? Okay, then moving on to like second question about sustainability. Let's see what government side of the house has already brought to you, right? They brought to you that there's going to be more sustainability because they are going to have a strong mentality when the coach is harsh on you because you will get used to it, right? We believe at the very first place they wouldn't even yeah, they wouldn't even join competitions, right? Because of how shocked they are with these coaching methods. No, thank you. With these coaching methods, even if they are going to make it to competitions, their mentality would be down and bad because of these coaches wouldn't console you when you lost, right? Of course, as a novice debater, you wouldn't just win in your first time debating in competitions, right? Compare it with elephant coaches that are actually going to console you, but also tell you your mistakes and tell you how to actually fix it. Compare it in like government side of the house. They're just going to keep telling you that, oh, you can't do this, you are very, very bad. Why you shouldn't be in this debate? We believe that pushes them to actually quit debate, right? But also like people that cares about you, no, thank you. But also like people that cares about you, that your family and friends will actually push you to quit debate too, because they feel like because you're getting so much pressure from these tiger coaches, and we believe that this cycle of bills is even more expensive than the prize money that they are going to get from debate, right? We believe because elephant coaches will tell you. We believe these elephant coaches will actually tell you what is going to happen to the debate, but we believe that also because these elephant coaches is going to understand you, they would understand you. By these coaches, you would not join like competition which is like national or international competitions. They would, because they understand you, they know your mentality, that you are not actually ready for that kind of competition level like SAUI or HSDC, for example. They would rather for you to actually join SIM, for example, or like SECON, for example, like regional competitions. Therefore, your mentality would not go down in the beginning, right? We believe that the opposition side of the house has already explained to you on how these people can actually how this debate as novice debater can have a sustainable debating career, because the debate will adjust to you and not the other way around, right? In the government side of the house, you will be smacked up by the coach if you can't adjust to the debating world. Compared to our side of the house, it is going to be more sustainable because these coaches are actually going to try to understand you and try to actually console you to keep you into debating. Compare it when in tiger coaching, if you're bad, then yeah, just quit. We don't care because you're really, really that bad, right? So we believe through all of those reasons, opposition side of the house deserves to win this debate. Thank you.
Calling for opposition to
Starting my reply speech in 3, 2, 1. Do not let government gaslight you, and make sure you make an assumptive case win the grand final of HSDC. 3 things I want to point out here before I move on to the 2 clashes. 1, realize how uncharitable proposition is, because realize the big burden that they set upon themselves when they tell you that, oh, tiger coaching is really that good. Because in order for that to be true, you need to prove to us how tiger coaching is able to help you, right? You cannot simply push to us an immediate benefit of you getting trophies, for example, or you simply like being able to like get used to the like being in competitions, right? We actually need you to analyze to us on a process how then this tiger coaching can actually help you when you're verbally abused, for example, right? But secondly then, understand that what they still have to answer the question of why then are people able to endure like these like toxic coaching in the first place, right? Because we already provide to you a myriad of reasons as to why then it's really that bad, that it makes people quit. Yet they also already conceded to this on WIP and then on the DPM, right? Because when they tell you that, oh, you cannot assume, therefore exactly then why you fulfill that principle, because we cannot assume, therefore we're taking the safest route. But secondly then, realize the inconsistency of the case coming from government, right? First, they told you that in from the first speaker that, oh, we want to win these trophies, yada yada yada. But suddenly in TPM and WIP, you suddenly concede to our own metric saying that, oh, what we want is to improve. Realize how desperate they are to co-opt our benefit, but this means that they are backstabbing their own case, right? Because understand that, you already fulfill this metric anyway, and even better to begin with, therefore you cannot win on our own metric, right? Because it is too late. But thirdly then, the question then remains, What then happens to these people or these debaters, for example, who are not able to endure these toxic coaches, right? Because they have yet to engage with that burden, and that is the most important burden that they need to engage, and yet there was no analysis on why that there is still able to be solvency under their side of the house. So the first question, under the idea of improvement, under opposition, we told you that people need to be kept into being comfortable with debate in order for them to improve, because number one, they're scared, but secondly, they're inexperienced. This is but then they told you that, oh, but what about the idea of having trophies? The problem with that is that one, there is no process analysis on how you're going to get these trophies in the first place or how you're going to win, right? But secondly, realize how they did not even mitigate this harm, right? Or even like in the process of you getting trophies, you are forced to like have like your tears swallowed, for example, right? Exactly when they concede to this own harm, they already kill their own case, right? But then they told you, but oh, you don't have strong motivation. The toxic coaching coming from these types of coaches are going to push you to be better. The problem with this is that one, we already told you the harm of being verbally abused. They already just keep pushing this benefit, right? Which is already disproven by the DLO in the first place. But secondly then, even if you want to take their case that improvement is still happening under their side of the house, under our side of the house, it's much better because understand that the way here, the prerequisite of actually achieving improvement is contingent on catering to the actors, e.g., in this case, the aspiring debaters. The only side that gave you analysis as to why then we are able to cater to the actor only exists under side opposition. But on the second clash then, on sustainability, we told you on opposition that it's not going to be sustainable because one, you're going to get like verbal abuse, but secondly, this dismisses you as a person as a whole when you're forced to like focus on debate solely on your life, right? Exactly then, when government side of the house just like never tried to like disprove this like whole case, meaning that they concede that to some extent then on their side of the house there's less likely of sustainability of debate careers under their side of the house, meaning that they lose their whole benefit of actually getting trophies, because in order for that to be true then they need to prove to us why a lot of people are still going to stay in the debate circuit or the debate community in itself. But because they didn't prove that, they already lose from the get-go, right? Lastly then, I just want to like highlight then how we've already proven or like how we've already fulfilled all of the burdens that are placed onto us. We already proved to you why that elephant coaching is that much better and why that it is able to actually sustain your career and actually get the benefits that that proposition wants to prove. For all of these reasons, you must engage.
Close the entire debate, call about the government. Give here.
Also my speech. As a novice debater, what are we trying to fight for? My first speaker has already brought the models, and that novice debater wants to be competitive, and they have the incentive because they want to win competitions, whether that's to apply for colleges or whatnot, right? To get this prestige, right? And we are trying to say that that's going to be better on our side of the house. And we recognize the harms that are going to come. However, we say that it's justified. However, even if we want to buy their ideas about emotional burden, we have already stated that it's going to be least likely to happen, right? Why then? We're going to give an analysis of this debate. Okay, first of all, talking about validation and the emotional burden by coach. Okay, first of all, our house frames that there is already personal achievement, and because we have this incentive to get our goal, we've already stated and said, and my good speaker said how because of we are going to get our goal faster, So even if they say, oh, we're still going to improve, however, we already said with my second speaker that even if you're going to improve, it's going to be slow. meaning that before you totally get into the best kind of state, before you totally improve, you're going to lose a lot of competitions first, which we already questioned. Why is that? Why is losing not going to make them opt out rather than for example this mentality? They never tried to explain why it's going to be worse on our side of the house, right? However, we have already given an analysis on why losing is not going to work, and why instead, even if you do push, they're going to get used to it, right? Meaning that this burden isn't going to happen. And all the emotional burdens that we try to push, we say that yes, first of all, that can happen. But however, it is justified because at least we get our goal, we have the incentive to actually achieve to get these competitions is already fulfilled, right? But second of all, then, even if you want to buy this, the burden has already been taken down because the burden has already been taken down. Why? The burden has already been taken down because we already proved how we can get used to this. Even if at first we're going to be put down, we're going to be criticized, we might get it tough at first. However, it's tough love, and at the end you're going to improve, right? And because you keep criticizing this person, you keep criticizing them, you keep putting them down, they're going to get used to it at the end. And even in debates, we've already said how this emotional burden is still going to exist on their side of the house. However, we have already proved why at least we can endure that in the long term, right? However, they have not stated anything on why this emotional burden that we have pushed to them is not going to exist, right? Meaning that on the emotional burden, we are going to win that clash, right? But then they need to prove how the validation, they say that validation is going to keep you in the debate, right? However, they need to prove to us why validation is going to keep you in the debate as opposed to you winning more trophies, right? We've already said that there's going to be more improvement on our side of the house, right? However, they say that, validation is going to keep you in the competition, right? However, we say that they don't prove this. They don't prove how this validation is going to make you win more. How this validation is going to do this. However, then a few criticisms towards this. First of all, they say that elephant is also going to do slow improvement. But this has been brought up very late by the third speaker because they didn't say that in the beginning because they only tried to characterize that elephant training, they prioritize mainly for the feelings, right? And that's been the core arguments then. But then second of all, saying that validation, that's going to push improvement. But this was later given extension by their speaker. But second of all, they tried to say that, because of this, friends are going to push them to quit debate. However, notice that this is completely new material and hasn't really been said by the first or second speaker. But third of all, they said that they're not going to join any new competitions internationally. But again, this is new material, so please do not count these three arguments or extensions, right? So then, let's talk about who's going to bring better improvement. Okay, first of all, they say we're going to bring improvement, but we're going to do this smallly, and because this is going to be too slow. However, we say that this is urgent, and that is why we want to push that urgency to win more competitions. For all these reasons, this is why we are proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for finishing this grand final round of HSDC 2024. We gonna have a break, maghrib, and we make a hand or makan or minum, and we boleh lah. Thank you everyone. Kita for the announcement.
Tolong ini matiin.
Foto, please foto kak.